Tell me when we're live, Van. Hello, have you a seat ever? Live on Facebook as well. Welcome to Real Estate. Van, how freaking loud is it in here? Can you hear? I don't know. I can. That's not as loud as y'all talking. Yo, that's what we're going to talk about here on Real Estate 101. Where we always, hey, I'm going to give. Come here, Ben. Let's give a shout out to somebody. We always give a shout out on our show. We're going to we're going to give a shout out to none other than Mr. Ben Livingston.
Yay!
Or come over here, Ben. If you're on here, do me a huge favor, like, comment, and share the stream. I've seen some of your stuff out there. Get in the screen here. Look, you can get up here. Look. We just got on here. There you go, Ben. Walking right around back there. Give a plug for 5-star. It's 5-star property management, correct?
Yeah.
Have a seat up here. You're looking a little weird right back there behind me. So we always like to give a plug. If you're on, like, comment, share the stream, sit down. Can you wait? Well, we got 10 minutes. That's what this show's about today. I'm going to ask you a few questions, Ben. Like, why right now, why is it so important to know what the Fed is going to do? Why is it so important?
Well, it just gives you, so you've got clarity on what long-term decisions you got to make.
Long-term. So whenever the Fed makes a decision, like most people are anticipating today that the Fed's going to raise by 25 basis points.
Right.
I think I saw today there was an 87% chance baked into the market. Would you get on and like, comment, and share the stream? Imagine. Hello, Josh. They've already announced it.
They just announced it, raised it a quarter point.
So the Fed, they did raise it a quarter point. What does that mean to us in real estate? What does that mean if you're somebody that owns a home? So whenever a rate like this happens, a rate increase by the Fed, it generally takes about 6 months for the economy to feel it, right?
Well, generally 8 to 10 months.
8 to 10 months? Now, Ben is a highly qualified person. What is your background, Ben?
Well, I have a few things in my background.
What is the hardest?
Degree is one,
Economics degree for one.
but more real-world experience.
More real-world experience. So I've always thought it takes about. Ed, could you do me a favor? Could you go back there and just turn the TV down a little bit?
Well,
Just a little bit.
The interest rate move you'll feel right away, but the effect in the macro economy will not be felt for 8 to 10 months. You won't, the change that happens today, you won't see the real effects from it.
You ain't got to turn it all the way down. I just want to be able to talk. So they've raised it 25 basis points. How much will someone's credit card bill go up? Like if they're at 22%, will it go up?
It just depends on the credit card company, really.
Okay, so what's going to be impacted by this are credit cards?
Yeah, anything that's a short term.
Any short term.
Unsecured credit, HELOCs, of course HELOCs are secured, but any unsecured credit in particular is going to feel.
So if you're ever going to borrow from like a commercial lender, that would mean you're going to go to like Ronnie Martin, you're going to borrow to like Joey does these construction loans. Well, forever it seemed like he was borrowing money at 4 to 4.5%. So if he were to, let's just do the math. Hello, Andre. Thank you for getting on here. Please share the love. So if Joey was to go out and build a house and borrow $750,000 at 4.5%, when the house was completely done, he might be paying back $2,500 a month. Once the house is done, that's what his interest note would be. Now it's $5,000 a month. Think about how quickly that starts. Carrying costs is killing investors right now. So what investors might start. So like me and my wife want to buy a house in Florida. So here's how this affects real estate investors is whenever you're buying a building or a house in Florida or a commercial building, a lot of the value is really determined by rent multiples. So as the economy slows down, the economy's in a course of slowing down right now. We can feel it. Can you definitely tell?
Yes.
If Ben is right, we've only felt how many real rate cuts then? If you're saying it's 8 months,
Yeah, I mean, we won't feel the real net of all this, I don't think, until the end of the third quarter.
But we've been doing it for a
It's
year.
been going on for, they've been raising rates.
For a
the
year.
last-
It's been a year, hasn't it?
Yeah.
They started in March.
Yeah, but they got more aggressive late in the year, when it
Yeah.
really got going in September.
So we've really only felt 2 or 3 of these rate cuts. So here's what it does to Florida travel, where I'm looking to buy one of these days. It hasn't even noted. It hasn't even been. You can't even tell yet. People are still going down there. They're still renting. They're still paying top dollars for these trips, and therefore they're going to show a lot of money this year, probably on their P&L, which keeps the price stable or it goes up. It's going to be the next year when travel slows down. It's going to be the next year when spending slows down. Now, I believe real estate was a leader into this. Real estate started slowing down last year.
Yeah, it is.
Mortgage business started slowing down last year. But what's going to really slow down this upcoming year is going to be like tech companies. Thank God we don't have a ton of tech jobs around here. Banking jobs, maybe some other financial services. But our local market is really protected from this because the majority of our jobs are MTSU, ton of state jobs. Nissan, VA. Amazon's been affected.
But Amazon's been affected.
Amazon's been affected. But the majority of our blue-collar town is people working in construction. There's a lot of construction money around here. That's already that was felt this past year. So here's what this means to mortgage rates as they continue. I guess now you could say the Fed funds rate's at 5%.
Yeah, 4.75 to 5%. What
5% for a bank to make money to lend out whatever they got to borrow the money for them to make their normal spread. Ronnie says it's about 4% higher. So if
9% for a commercial.
that's what Joey, I asked him at lunch, what is yours? And he said 7.5. Now, some highly qualified people, their money that they can borrow from the bank, it might be a little less risk, but for them to make their spread, they need to be at 4%. So what does that mean for mortgages? Well, a lot of what's going to happen with mortgages is going to be based off what Powell says. He could say we're going to raise the rates 25 basis points, but long-term rates, mortgage rates have nothing to do with this other than their belief of the future. So
expectations of the future, exactly.
So if Powell says, look, we got to raise these guys 25 basis points, he won't say this, I don't think, but if he could say, but we feel like inflation has slowed down. If he starts to say things that we can believe, he's saying, because he's going to be very guarded in what he says. You ever notice that?
No, he will, because he knows if he says that, then people expect him to start pulling back on his aggressive stance, and therefore all it's going to do is get investors going at it again, and the same inflation they're trying to tame will just take
So
off.
Ben is saying he's going to be very careful about what he says, because if he's too loosey-goosey, people are going to bury the foot on the gas again.
That's right.
So he's going to say things, but the bond market, which has everything to do with the way we do our financing in real estate, is through mortgage-backed securities. That has nothing to do with what's going on now. So a lot of people here, whenever they raise the Fed rates, they think, well, mortgage rates went up. Mortgage rates could come down today. Right now, the 10-year Treasury is going down a little bit today. It's down. So the mortgages are going to follow the 10-year Treasury. Mortgages follow whatever the prediction of inflation is. So whatever he's saying right now, the bond market's going to react. So we don't know what he's saying. So what I would tell people to do is just really, really pay attention to how the 10-year Treasuries, it's down 8 basis points. In the past, when he speaks, that damn thing shoots up. So I feel like he's probably saying something right now the market likes. So,
Well, I don't think his thing comes on until 1:15.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, 115, we'll see how that goes. But historically, when the Fed or any other Fed member speaks, they say things because the media will ask them a question and they'll say something to answer the question. And usually, the way they answer it, they're going to take a little spot. If you ever notice, they'll take a little sentence or two, and that's what they lead with, and that's what everybody sees. Fed chairman said this. Well, if you listen to what he actually said, maybe he didn't say it like they're saying. So the media, the financial news, whatever they can do to get on here and create hysteria, drama.
Yeah, they can create a story.
That's exactly what they're trying to do.
Job gains have picked up.
So see, here's the other thing. So the Fed is raising rates. The other thing they're trying to do is do away with jobs. So as they see more, so does it say something about employment?
Fed, I guess, in their comments made comments that the job gains have increased.
Job gains have it. See, that's telling them what that's telling them, Hayden, is what they with them going up on their rates has not slowed down the economy yet. Because when the economy slows down, people start getting let go. That's not happening.
I had my first client say
But
they were no
Amazon-
longer looking because they got let go from their job. I
Really?
don't know what industry they were in, but yeah, first time it's happened.
Well, Amazon's telling us what's coming.
Well, historically, where Rutherford County is, historically, they're not affected. Rutherford County's not affected the same way in most areas of the country.
We're insulated.
I wonder if they know something we don't. Maybe they do, Josh. Where are you, Josh? Why aren't you here?
Instead of showing us.
Oh, is that a good job? They do know things we don't.
That's right.
They do, but the way there's people out there that I think have information. That's why the stock market is and the bond market is a great leading indicator, because the people that know things put moves in place that manipulate the stock. So the stock market is usually 6 to 9 months ahead of the economy. What are they saying right now?
They're just going through a lot of different GDP forecasts and stuff, and it's just a lot of gobbledygook.
Yeah.
But the bond market is even more so than the stock market. The bond market's more important to watch because the bond market actually dwarfs the stock market in the number of total dollars.
Yeah.
The bond market, I don't know what the metric is, but it's worldwide. The bond market is like 10 times what the equity, stock markets are. And it's probably a lot greater than that. It's just I don't remember the stat, but it's huge. So the bond market's where the truly big institutional.
So it looks like Powell did say what my breaking news says, that Powell did say the Fed projections call for just one more rate hike this year. I think the market's probably going to like that, knowing that we're
like that.
no. See, the market wants to know certain.
Exactly.
They don't like to be in the guess. They don't like to be in mystery, as we like to say around here. So, as we get through, what's a good indicator that we'll know that we're at the bottom? I feel like the worst started in November, December. I think that was when it was the worst. I feel like we've kind of gotten through that. I feel where you got to go, Ben? Damn, I thought you were going to stay on the show. Thanks for your input, Ben. Don't let the dog out.
Well, I won't let the dog out, but no, I
The Fed inflation remains up.
See, whenever the Fed says stuff like that, that creates some skittishness. The Fed said inflation remains elevated. Well, no shit. But here's what experts will tell you.
Payment system is sound and resilient.
By May, the inflation, it's like this. If you came to me, here's how Barry Habib describes the Fed. You come to me, what sickness do you have right now?
Lethargic.
Let's talk about him. What does he have?
Bad luck.
Nope. Let's give him a real disease, a real cold.
He's got herpes.
What'd you say, Van?
Wow, that's what you got to?
What?
Jeez.
Okay, Edward has bronchitis. This is how I can help you make sense of this. So Ed comes in. I'm a doctor. Pay attention. You need to know this shit so you can talk to people. So Ed comes in here with bronchitis. What are your symptoms?
Sore throat, coughing a lot.
Itchiness.
Yep. Yep. Not feeling
Really
too well.
itchy.
Real itchy.
Temper.
Pen.
I mean, not temper. Temperature.
Temperature. Okay, so you come in here. How long is my medicine going to take to fix you? Let's just make up the number. Let's say my medicine's really good and my medicine can fix you in 4 days. 4 days you take this medicine and you're going to be healed. And we know that. But the next day you still feel like this and you come back there and I'm like, well, man, it didn't work. I need to give you some more. The booster. I got to give you this booster, Ed. Then the next day you're feeling a little bit better, but you still feel a little funny. I give you another one. I start to over-medicate you. Well, Barry Habib says that's exactly what the Fed is doing. They've already done enough. They've already actually done enough to get the inflation to the core number of 2%. But what they're doing is they're just beating the old dead horse.
The Fed raised its fund rates forecast
Why are
for
they doing
2024 from 4.3 to where it was 4.1.
So it's come down, son.
No, it's actually saying 2024 would go up just a hair, like whatever that rate was they put up there.
I'd have to see that.
The inflation rate.
Are they doing that just to be secure?
Well, Ben makes a good case. If all these investors have all this money on the sideline right now, they're real cautious, and it's a good thing because if all that money floods in, it may drive up inflation. So him keeping people away from doing that, he's going to say things to keep people nervous. So he could say that, but depends on how much this thing slows down. We could be talking about rate decreases.
Is moderate growth in spending and production.
So if the economy starts to really stall, the way they're going to speed it up is they're going to start cutting rates. But that does not mean that it's going to lower mortgage rates because they're two different things. We've got an apple and we've got an orange. We're not comparing apples and apples with the Fed rates and the mortgage rates. Do you understand that?
I know they're different.
They're completely different. So the way the here's what spooks the bond market. If the Fed is raising their rates, the bond market sees the Fed predicting there's more inflation ahead, so that may make rates go up a little bit. Once the bond market knows inflation is under control, that 10-year Treasury, it's at 3.52.
What about the 30-year trade? Does that matter to us any or not really?
Now, the mortgage rates trade
On 10 years?
on the 10-year Treasury. So what we want to do for a while, that 10-year Treasury was low, like extremely low. Right now, it's at 3.5. Historically, the conventional rates would trade about 200 basis points more than
Minutes to conference.
the conventional rates would trade about 2 points higher. So at 3.52, Ed, back in the good old days or historically, what would that mean rates should be right now?
They were 3.52.
Yep. I said they trade right. Historically, they're 2 points.
So 5.2.
That's right. But right now, the spread is like the biggest it's ever been. It's over 300 basis points. It's 3 points higher. And the reason this is something, if you're watching, this is good information. Some people see this, some won't. But why is that going on right now? Well, the way they make their money is through servicing the loan. So if you were to give me $100,000, and if I had that forever, for 30 years, I'd make a lot more money than if you were to chop it, close the loan out in 6 months. You see what I'm saying? So I would much rather have your money for 30 years. Well, for me to break even as a loan servicer, I got to have 6 months of your money because of my cost to doing business. 6 months is our break even. So right now, I'm anticipating you're going to refinance in the next couple of months. Only way I can make my money now is to charge you a little bit more juice. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's what's going on right now with these mortgages. There's like a service charge. Now, once this starts to go down, the rates start to come down, and Barry Habib thinks the rates are going to come down faster. I'm going to get off here and listen to the rest of this. So have a good day. Shut us down, Vegan Grafton.